But anyway, all right. So let's move on. Let's talk about Miss Ariana Grande because the Arianators are mad. I tell you, they pissed over the fact that their girl, you know, when we talked about Beyonce getting her record, what was it, 12 nominations, and she surpassed Jay-Z. And the fact of the matter is, congratulations to all the girls. Chaperone got nominations, Charlie XCX got her nominations, so many other girls, Sabrina Carpenter. I was watching something earlier and they said something that made sense. They were like, they need to change that best new artist category to like um a different type of category where it's just like most influential or no, not most influential, like big a best breakout star, whatever the case was. Because when you look at Chaperone and you look at Sabrina Carpenter, they've been around for a while. Yeah, you're just now hearing of Chaperone, but she's been on this journey for what, over a decade. Sabrina Carpenter has put out multiple records before she finally hit it big with her sixth album that came out earlier this year, a couple of months ago, I should say. And so it should be breakout star. Benson Boone, all these other people that's in that category. And Ray, went independent and had a huge amount of success over in the UK, which is why she won the Brit Awards. Cleaned up at the Brits actually last year. Or was it this year? I can't remember. You get so many damn award shows. I can't remember when they air. And especially with, when we had excuse me, sinuses bother me. When we had a year of with the pandemic, the strike, and all the other stuff, things kind of just blurred into one another. So it's hard to keep track of, okay, so is it the 2023 awards happening in 2024? Because I guess it's confusing. But anyway, so Ray had a great year too, but she's been around for a while as well. And they got her as best new artist. And it's sort of like, well, yeah, I do think that y'all need to change the category and not no best new artist. It needs to be best breakthrough artist. Y'all need to change the categories and adapt them to the times because technically these people are not new, but you got them in the new category. So, but of course, one of the girls who got, she did get a couple of Grammy nominations, I believe two, but her fans are pissed that she wasn't in any of the main categories, like album of the year, song of the year, that sort of thing. That Ariana kind of just like best pop vocal. And then she has the song with The Boy Is Mine with Brandy and Monica. So it says that the singer released her seventh album, Eternal Sunshine, in March after a 3-year hiatus. The long-awaited album featured hits like Yes and We Can't Be Friends, Wait for Your Love. I think that song was nominated too. Despite the album breaking records it broke records where, and Grande being praised over her vulnerability, the Grammys didn't include the album or any of the songs in the main categories, such as Album of the Year, Record of the Year, and Song of the Year. The Eternal Sunshine album did earn a spot in the Best Pop Vocal Album category, while Yes and snagged a nomination in the Best Dance Pop Recording category, which I thought that song was so mid and so mediocre, especially for a Max Martin production. We've heard better coming from him. And this is the best that you can produce. Now, I will say this, the Yes and video, I did live for it because it does give me Paula Abdul, Cold Hearted Snake tease. But in regards of the song, it's all right. Compared to somebody who's a househead and I listen to dance music, that was just mid for me. Now, Grande, who's 31, received one final nomination in the Best Pop Duo Group Performance for her remix song The Boy Is Mine with Brandy and Monica. Now, shortly after the nominations were released on Friday, Grande's fans took to social media to share their outrage for both Eternal Sunshine and We Can't Be Friends, Wait for Your Love getting snubbed. Ariana Grande, one of the few artists to almost entirely write, produce, and sing for her life on a personal, astonishing constructed concept album, was once again snubbed, one person wrote on Twitter. Another person said, Eternal Sunshine is one of the most critically acclaimed albums of the year and the only this year to have multiple number one singles and still didn't get an Album of the Year nomination, or saying that the Grammys remain rigged. This is what another person said. Another one said, Ariana Grande not getting nominated for the main categories is a joke. Eternal Sunshine and We Can't Be Friends were snubbed. Hashtag Grammys, someone wrote also on the Twitter. Another person said, we already witnessing Ariana Grande being snubbed again. What do you mean We Can't Be Friends is not nominated for Best Pop Solo Performance and Video of the Year? Embarrassing as always. Another person wound up saying, what do you mean Ariana Grande wasn't nominated for an album, song, and record of the year? Just one effing nomination? Well, it wasn't One, it was three. We did just point those out. But I guess you're mad because they're not in the main categories. So they said justice for her and Eternal Sunshine. No wonder she wants to focus on acting. She was robbed. And not only that, but she did recently say that she's going to take a back seat to music and that she's planning on getting more into musical theater. And I think it's because she got the acting bug from doing Wicked. So, and I think what after all the years of a lot of music that she's put out, and with this one being in, in so many ways her most personal to date. And yeah, the hardcore Arianators like it, but I think for the most part, a lot of people didn't really care for the record. Then it's good that she wants to take a break and exercise her and other avenues of her creative process or creativeness of her career. Whereas like she wants to do musical theater. Why not? Go do Broadway. I've been saying for the longest, Lady Gaga need to take her ass over there on, to Manhattan and do some Broadway. She's definitely got that thing that she could do Broadway. I would like to see her when Nicole Scherzinger stepped down and she jumped in and do Sunset Boulevard. She comes in and does Norma Desmond or whatever the case was. I think it would be good for her to kind of get out there and do theater. Why not? And I would like to see Ariana Grande do theater. I think she has the ability to do that. She's talented. And doesn't her brother Frankie, doesn't he also have a musical theater background? So I could definitely see her jumping into that. And why not do other avenues where you can express your abilities as a vocalist and not just do pop music or touring? That gets tedious after a while. So if you have the ability, definitely get up there and do theater. I would definitely go and see Ariana Grande in theater. But in regards to Eternal Sunshine, I do feel like that there's a lot of factors. It's very complicated as why she didn't get chosen for the main categories. There was just too many categories that I feel like, you know, I just feel like there were just a lot of people that, you know, things were going against her in regards to that category, in regards to like who the nominations were. Like when you look at, so it was like, hold on, let me pull up the album, the thing. And child, I did hear about the Wicked movie Dolls mistakenly lists a porn site. I did hear about that, but I didn't think it was interesting. I just didn't care enough to want to talk about that. But yeah, but she had a lot going against her. Like you have Taylor Swift, Chappell Roan, Billie Eilish, Sabrina Carpenter, Charlie XCX, and Beyonce. All those women really put out a lot of music and they worked their ass off with this era of music. Ariana Grande, I don't feel like she really did that because she put a lot of energy. She's put a lot, well, I should say she's putting and has put a lot of energy um behind. Oh, I just saw this Carol G story. I'm like, let me open that up and do that. Say that for tomorrow, child. But let me concentrate because the easy distraction sometimes when you try to talk about one story and then something else catches your eye. But it's like when you have Taylor Swift, who, the Eras Tour, that's just, she put so much behind that. She worked her ass off with that thing. The Chaperone, even though there's been situations she's been irritating with me with, and we're going to talk about her latest thorn in my behind later on in the show. But, she's had a great year with this album that she has, although she did say she don't want to win a Grammy. But she's nominated. You've been real quiet since you got the nomination, sis. So where was that energy when you said you didn't want to win no Grammy? Then you had Billie Eilish, who I have to say, her recent tour was everything. I loved working that tour. It was a great tour. And I underestimated her because I listened to Billie Eilish's music, but I kind of brushed her off. And then I see how she, the production, the stage presence, what she does creatively. I was like, okay, I'm gonna bow down to her. And she just wise beyond her years. So I got to give Billie her props. Sabrina Carpenter, I didn't care for the album, but y'all, she put it out there. Y'all was eating it up. And it is what it is. We can't deny Brat Summer and all the stuff that was going on behind the scenes with the creativity behind that. And we're gonna get into that story about her and Jelly Roll after this. But then so there's that. But then of course we can't deny Cowboy Carter. While Cowboy Carter I don't think was like this big phenomenon of a record, it did spark a lot of controversy and conversation. I don't feel like I feel like Ariana Grande's album kind of flew under the radar. So while her fans are living for the phenomenon behind it and see, whatever it is that they see in this record, I don't feel like it resonated with a lot of people, and I don't feel like it translated because like when you look at record of the year, it's complicated with the whole thing because I know they mad about the whole why is the Beatles even being nominated when they're dead or not dead, but they haven't been together. Majority of the band is dead. Who's the only one that's left? Paul McCartney. So then, you have the Beatles was nominated for Record of the Year. You have Texas Hold'em by Beyonce, Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter, 360 by Charlie XCX, Bird of a Feather by Billie Eilish, Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar, Good Luck Babe by Chappell Roan, and Fortnite by Taylor Swift featuring Post Malone. And it's going to be hard to try to decide who we should pick through all of that. Where does Ariana Grande fit in that conversation regarding of that? Now let's go to the next one, which is Album of the Year. So you have New Blue Sun by Andre 3000, Cowboy Carter by Beyonce, Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter, Brat by Charlie XCX, Jabez Collier. I have no idea who that is, but we always wind up getting somebody that we ain't never heard of that ends up being in the thing. I guess they want to fill their quota, and he won't get the win. But in regards to AOTY, then you have Billie Eilish, Chappell Roan, and Taylor Swift. Now, Taylor Swift says you got enough damn AOTYs. You don't need another one. And we understand that it's a popular record and it was a successful tour, but was it good enough to win an award? I do feel like the Torture Poets Department was for the fans. That is a fan record. She did what she did. It wasn't about, greasing the pipes for the industry. It wasn't one of those type of records. Oh, I'm pandering to the industry. Give me Grammys and that was that was a record for the fans, and she got a lot of them because the album done sold 6 million copies plus. So if I had a choice, I like Beyonce's Cowboy Carter. However, I will say this: I don't think she's going to win it. I do feel like it's going to be because, maybe it'll be the rock album. Maybe that's what she'll get it. I don't think it has to do with the Jay-Z thing. I just think that she spends too much time trying to educate people on the history of country music or whatever, that it's missing a bit of that extra oomph that got me to get on board. I love the idea of her giving a space to be like, yeah, I want to remind people that where the roots of country music is coming from. But it's too much, it spends too much on the educational part that is not enjoyable. There are moments in there where I'm enjoying some songs. Like Sweet Honey Buckin', bitch. No, I did my life with that damn song. And there's a couple of songs up in there. Vocally, she's on point. Singing like her life depended on it. She's singing like the rent is due on that album. So I'll give Beyonce that, especially when y'all always try to come for her with her screaming and all that other mess. Who screamed? Who? I was like, who out screams who? Is it her or Screamer for Hudson? I think Screamer for Hudson still be out here screaming, but at least Beyonce brought it back. Like she really got back to, okay, I'm gonna give y'all vocals, I'm gonna give y'all like lyrics, I'm gonna give y'all deep whatever. I'm gonna get really in depth with the stuff. But I do not feel like I said, while I aim for effort, I do not feel like this is her best body of work. I am looking forward to hearing that third album, which is, they said it's supposed to teeter on rock. Maybe then she should get the AOTY. But this year, I don't see her getting it. And for those getting all mad about Ariana Grande, I just don't feel like that album had enough in regards to that. So it was like, because I particularly didn't care for the record. And then, when she wasn't busy blackfishing, I have to say I do prefer, Positions, Dangerous Woman, and Sweetener. That's more up my alley. Now, lyrically and vocally, I do feel that Eternal was her best body of work. Now, collectively, as an album, I found it boring. And was a one and done listen. And also, let's not ignore the elephant in the room. Quiet as it's kept, she barely promoted the record. And was putting more of her energy into Wicked. So y'all want to call it snub, but I feel like the odds were stacked against her. Like she was going up against Chappell Roan, Sabrina Carpenter, Beyonce, Charlie XCX, Billie Eilish, Kendrick Lamar. They had better body of work. No shade. It just sometimes the odds are stacked against you. But look, at least you get to brag about you got best pop vocal nomination. You got the Boys Mind remix that's been nominated and all this stuff. But you want to know something? If anything, I want to recommend a video where I don't know if y'all seen the latest episode of Kayla Says, But she did a recent video that breaks it all down in regards of the complexities of the Grammys. And y'all have to realize also the Grammys is not a popularity contest. They don't never they that's okay. So maybe some popular songs will get in through the door, but they are like the Oscars of music, which is like y'all be up against about why Deadpool and Wolverine didn't get a best picture. Because it's not a best picture worthy nomination. The fact of the matter is that's not how the Academy works. It's a peer driven type of situation. So they're gonna go for the more artistic situation. If y'all want popularity, go over to the People's Choice, go over to the Nickelodeon, go over to the VMAs, go over to all of that. That's what that's for. But that's not the Grammys. Now there will be some popular albums that'll get in the door and get the nomination and possibly win. But the Grammys ain't never been about that. Now, am I saying are they perfect in regards of how they go about things? No, they don't. There's a lot of times they don't get shit right, especially when it comes to hip hop and R&B. And then for those of y'all who keep talking about Chris Brown was canceled, where? Because he was nominated for in the same category with Usher. So that's all I gotta say on that. So I feel this to say. What do y'all think of this story? Do y'all think that Ariana Grande was snubbed? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below.